Let's take. device has been modified. The device has been modified. The device has been modified.
Welcome to the next stage of destiny.
The All-Invitational VII.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back at long last to the All-Invitational VII. Who am I? I'm Harlock, the tournament administrator, and tonight, your master of ceremonies, once again, bringing you a solo cast. Sorry about that. This group, which we're casting tonight, Group A from Group Stage 2, took forever. It was just a long, grueling process to get this group completed, but we finally got it, so I don't want to wait to schedule people and figure out a good time to get some good casters together. We're just going to get through this group so we can get on to the round of 8 ASAP. It has been a while since our last broadcast, so I'm a little rusty in not only my casting of StarCraft 2, but in also my running of the production, which is extremely complicated, and I did not leave myself any notes on, because I thought, I won't forget. These casts will be happening regularly enough that there's no way I could suddenly not remember how to do anything. So apologies in advance for what I'm sure will be subpar casting, as well as me missing all of the production marks on all the player interests and all that kind of stuff. Apologies to you, the viewers, as well as to the players of this group that we'll be seeing tonight. Some real heavy hitters who I think deserve a better quality of casting than I'm able to provide, but as I said, let's just get through this and get on to the next stage. But the players we're going to be seeing tonight, we've got Tang, our glorious leader, of course, as well as Nexlux and Tech 4, so pretty Zerg heavy. Our lone Terran hero, Mr. Lando, the only non-Zerg in this group. So if you're a fan of Terrans, or a fan of the idea of us potentially seeing a TVP in this tournament, cheer for Lando, because he's the last hope that you have for that. If Lando advances either first or second in this group, he will go up against a Protoss. If he advances first, he goes up against Manipulation, I think? Or no, he goes up against Exiled. And if he advances second, he would go up against Lucid. So either way, if Lando makes it out of this group, we've got a TVP in the round of 8 waiting for us. A matchup we have not seen at all yet in this tournament. So that possibility is exciting. And looking at the group on paper, it seems like Lando has got a decent shot to advance. I mean, it seems like Tang is probably the obvious choice for first in the group. And then it's kind of down to him, Nexlux, and Tech 4. And no offense to Tech 4, but I think he's clearly the weakest link in this group. Nexlux and Lando both have made masters on several occasions, and Tech 4 has yet to achieve that. So I don't think he would mind me saying that probably they both have an edge over him in that regard. And the Nexlux Lando matchup is is pretty crazy. We've seen them play against each other a couple times. In TI6, we had that crazy three-way tie situation in Group A between Lando, Nexlux, and Canary, where Nexlux was beating Lando, Lando was beating... Or no, Nexlux was beating Canary, Canary was beating Lando, and Lando was beating Nexlux. So I think if we go by historical record, Lando should be able to take Nexlux out if they happen to meet. So yeah, things looking okay for Orlando advancing out of this group, but we're gonna have to just to wait and see, because anything could happen in this group full of Zergs. Oh, I've just realized my cam isn't on. Hey everybody. So the first match that we're gonna see, or that we were supposed to see, was going to be Tang versus Lando in match 1. Unfortunately, there was some miscommunication about the scheduling for that match, so it ended up being the case that I had to give somebody a walkover, and I ended up giving it to Lando, because it just seemed like his availability was better than Tang's. I probably should have just given it to Tang, but I didn't want to be seen as engaging in cronyism or anything like that, and Lando did work a little harder, I think, in getting all that scheduled. So, in any case, both very good players. I don't think will affect the outcome of the group too much. It does mean that Tang cannot advance in first place out of this group. However, he will start in the losers match, awaiting the loser of the match that we're about to see, Nexlux versus Tech 4. So whoever loses this first match is going to have to go up against Tang in the losers match. So they're going to have a real bad day, I imagine. But yeah, I think that's all I've got to say up top. So let's load into game 1 if I can remember how to do this. See you guys in the map.
Tech 4 versus Nexlux.
Alright, here we are, game 1 on Annihilation Station Re. Spawning in the bottom left corner, the purple Zerg, it is.
Tech 4.
And spawning in the top right corner, we've got the red Zerg going for an early pull even before I get introductions done. God damn it. It is.
Nexlux.
Alright, well, early pool from Nexlux is basically standard. I don't know how much Tech 4 really knows about Nexlux and his playstyle. Nexlux has had, quite a few games casted now, so if Tech 4 was watching and doing his homework, he might expect this kind of style from Nexlux, but he might not. He might not know that that's not just something that Nexlux does in tournaments, that's something he does all the time. He really is a master of early game aggression. That's where he thrives. Even if he doesn't do game-ending damage, the kind of resulting chaotic situation that the game ends up in, he just knows how to handle himself a lot better in those kind of situations than most players, because most players aren't in that situation very often, whereas Nexlux deliberately puts himself in that position basically every single game of StarCraft that he plays. So it's one of those things where you might be like, well, a 6 pool or an 8 pool or whatever isn't that good on paper, but however this shakes out, Nexlux will know what his next step is going to be, whereas Tech 4 might be like, well, I defended the early pool, but where do I go from here? So it's always kind of interesting to see, when Nexlux does something like this. Is the player that he's doing against going to be able to defend it, and if so, are they going to have kind of the game knowledge necessary to know where to take the game after that? Well, let's see if Nexlux can snag some drone kills here. That one on the gas seems like ripe for the picking, but so far as of yet, okay, there we go, first drone kill. Yeah, Tech 4 grabbing Zergling speed which I don't think is going to be too helpful for him. He needs stuff like spines and lings and queens right now. If he can avoid taking serious drone damage until that queen comes out, he should be in an alright spot, but not doing a great job stacking his drones here. Losing a few too many, I think, and the queen has popped out, but it didn't get to a safe spot in between the minerals, so it's just going to get picked off. You know, most of the lings taken care of, but he hasn't been mining, so he doesn't have the money to make enough lings to really do a whole lot, but he does manage to scare Nexlux away. Only got the 1 ling remaining. But yeah, this ling speed I think really should have been more lings. He's got this Exos larva pulling up now, and sure he'll have ling speed, but no ling force to really capitalize on that. How many worker kills did we see from that? 5? That's a pretty good number. Nexlux is still down in the workers count, but it is very even. So yeah, it looks like Tech 4 is technically ahead at this moment. He's got his speed finished, whereas Nexlux is just now taking gas. So he has a kind of a window where he could mount some counter pressure. I feel like the lack of queen, though, kind of balances things out. Nexlux is going to have the better larva production in this little interim period. Is Tech 4 even rebuilding his queen? Okay, he is right now, so there's kind of going to be a window here where Nexlux, even with slowlings, can outproduce Tech 4's fastlings, and if Nexlux isn't planning on attacking, then the speed isn't really a big issue. Let's see what Tech 4 can get done here. Nope, doesn't get a single drone. That's too bad. Yeah, well, so now the game is in a weird place, which is where Nexlux wants to be. He's got his 2 queens, so we can plug a ramp versus a Baneling bust, which it looks like Tech 4, that's what he wants to do. Only mining 1 guy in gas, though. I feel like to make any serious amount of banelings, he's going to need more than 1 guy in there. And he has no lings whatsoever on the map at the moment, so he's going to need to probably wait for at least 1 inject cycle, if not 2. Nexlux out on the map now, skipping ling speed to go for a faster baneling nest. Looks like he suspects that might be what's up. He sees with his Overlord there's no hatch for Tech 4, so if he's not expanding, he's got to be doing something. So pretty good play there from Nexlux. Let's see what he can get done with these slow lings. He is starting speed now, but if Tech 4 had a larger slow of lings than he's currently pursuing, he could potentially catch these slow lings and take them out. Yeah, it looks like Nexlux... Okay, Nexlux going to go for a slow ling Bane Bust versus Tech 4's fast ling, less Baneling defense. Looks like he has turned another guy into gas, so he'll be able to get a few more Banelings than he would. Oh, this could be good. Let's see what's going to happen. 2 Banelings is a curious amount of Banelings. It's the exact amount you need to get a lot of drone damage done, which it looks like he's trying. He's thinking about it. Oh, well, not as much as he might have liked. Oh, only 1 additional worker killed there, so not great at all. A lot of super weak drones, though. Look at all that. Man. Yeah, that was a pretty big missed opportunity by Nexlux, I think. He nearly did, like, game-ending damage there. He did blow up on a lot of larvae, which isn't the worst thing in the world. It'll kind of slow down Tech 4's counterattack, because he needs to wait for this injector pop before he can make another 12 lings. But Nexlux doesn't seem too perturbed by the situation, just calmly throwing down an expansion, as is Tech 4. Looks like Nexlux is a little bit more ahead. But link speed is done now for Nexlux, so now we can follow up with another round of Ling Bane aggression. It's a little more potent, I guess. Tech 4 hasn't remade Banelings, it seems like, so if a good Baneling gets a hit on of Tech 4's Lings, this could be pretty good. He is making 1 Baneling now. 2 queens for Tech 4, kind of scaring the Speedlings away. But they're coming off creep. This is getting a little dangerous. You can surround the Lings and use the Baneling to zone out the Lings. Well, not quite zoning, but oh boy, big 12 Lings from Tech 4. And his Baneling takes out the remaining Lings before they can go in for the scout. But another Baneling! Oh, wow. Yep, that's pretty good. Tech 4's 12 Lings is totally neutered by a single Baneling, which I think kind of swings the pendulum back towards Nexlux. Tech 4 moving across the map with 4 Lings. A little ambitious to think you can get much done with those. He might be able to get some good scouting info, but there are 2 queens ready to plug the ramp. And looks like Nexlux is just going to shoo him away. Huh. Well, this is where ZVZ is exciting, because now we don't really... Where do we go from here? Nexlux is up in workers and in army, so he's got the better economy and the better attacking force right now. So we probably could just lean on Tech 4 off of the back of that advantage. But Tech 4 is making a lot of Banes, so it won't take much to get some good shots on these Lings when you have that many Banelings. So we'll have to see if Nexlux is able to detonate them with small groups of Lings. That's alright. 3 for 1. 1 for 1. Okay, good trades. Kind of making his own Basherlings. Oh, wow. Many Banelings getting taken out here. Tech 4 is just down to 3. And all Nexlux has right now on his side of the map is Banelings. So he's looking to get something done. Trying to take out those Banelings with his Banelings. Banelings chasing Banelings. Blowing up. It didn't do much, but behind this looks like Tech 4 was thinking about trying to switch out to Roaches, but Banelings are here. Can't wait for Roaches. 3-2 Banelings sneaking into the main of Tech 4. One gets blown up prematurely, and all these drones have already healed by now, it looks like, so he's not going to be able to capitalize on that earlier Baneling damage, but now just a swell of Lings. Now that there's no Banelings left for Tech 4, Nexlux is just leaning hard on that Z button. Definitely going to get this Queen. Probably going to get the Queen on the ramp. Tech 4 trying to morph Banelings in the heat of battle. Will they be done in time? Probably. But Nexlux trying to get some Banelings of his own, trying to target down the morphing Banes of Tech 4. He's got like the perfect number of Lings to do that. No Banelings finished for Tech 4. Banelings of Nexlux blowing up all over the gaff. And it looks like, I think Nexlux may have done it here. Tech 4 has a Roach. He's managed to produce a single Roach in all of this, but Ling's going to surround that and just take it out. He's got 6 on the way, but these Lings are here in the mineral line ready to do damage right now. So too little too late, I think. Well, Roaches do pop now, but Nexlux smartly just targeting down the drones. Who cares about the Roaches? They'll take forever to move across the map. Just ruin his economy now while you can. Tech 4 down to 2 drones at this point. Nope, he's got a few more somewhere. Oh, in the gas. Yeah, now he's down to 4. All he has are these 4 Roaches. Nexlux just spamming Lings. Eventually he will overwhelm them. Doesn't matter how great a position you get with your Roaches. If all you have is a small group of Roaches, eventually the Lings will break through. Working on Tech 4's natural now. It's for sure going to go down. Nothing he can do about that with his economy in shambles. He's got to figure out how to make magic with these Roaches, but I'm here to tell you there's no such thing as magic, and Tech 4 agrees. He GG's out. All right, well, a standard Nexlux game, truly. That slowing Bane aggression to kind of catch him off foot early on, followed up by another round. Pretty potent. You might not think slow Lings work with Banelings the way you'd want them to, but in the low quantities they seem pretty effective, as Nexlux has showed us. So, well played to him. Nice try to Tech 4. I feel like he had an okay-ish defense against the early pool. He lost 5 drones, which is more than you want, obviously, but he did end up on equal economic footing as Nexlux at the end of all that, and even really ahead because he had the earlier speed. Just wasn't really able to capitalize on that advantage. Oh well, that's what Game 2 is for. So it looks like Tech 4 has selected Noah's Ark as his second map. So we'll go ahead and jump into it. See you guys after the break.
Tech 4 versus Nexlux.
Alright, and here we are for Game 2. On Noah's Ark, spawning at the top right corner. Whoop, the purple Zerg. Down 1-0, needs to bring it back. Can he do it? It is.
Tech 4
And spawning in the bottom left of Noah's Ark. The changed colors are now to blue, up 1-0. Can he seal the deal and move on to the winner's match? It is.
Nexlux.
Alrighty, well, here we are. So Tech 4 has picked Noah's Ark. He's not the first to pick this map against Nexlux, and to be honest, I think it's crazy. The short rush distance through the middle here, I mean, Nexlux must see that and just pee his pants from excitement, because that plays into exactly the type of style he wants to do, which is this super early aggression. Although I guess it's not super early this game, is it? It's going to be like a 14-14. It seems like Tech is doing the same, just a little bit slower. Although he did get the gas first, didn't he? Okay, so fair enough. So it looks like maybe it's gonna pay off for Tech 4. He didn't get bum rushed by a super fast early pool. But still, I mean, the 14-14 is still a perfectly fine opening as far as setting you up for some early aggression. I think it's dangerous. I think against Nexlux, you would want as big a map as possible, as far away from him as possible, so that his slow lings take as much time as possible to reach you. But maybe Tech 4's got something cooked up his sleeve himself. I guess we'll just have to wait and see. Yeah, we're on pretty even footing. Tech is getting the earlier Zergling speed, but Nexlux isn't far behind him. So, yeah, can't really say who's got the advantage here, because nobody really does. We're just gonna have to wait to see who starts making stuff first. And it looks like Tech 4 is actually getting the higher early link count. Nexlux just getting these 2 for perhaps scouting, but Tech 4, the way he has these links positioned makes me think he's trying to like pool them up outside of where overlords might come in. He is getting that baneling nest, so this may just be a make a bunch of lings and then go for it kind of a maneuver. Nexlux sensing that or wanting to go for something of his own, throws down his own baneling nest. Kind of posting up in the line of sight blockers here with his lings. Interesting. Oh, this could be real bad. If you had banelings in here and a whole flood of lings came down, oh man, that would be nasty. I'd never thought of that before. I wonder if that's what Nexlux is thinking. He's gonna maybe morph these into banes as soon as that nest is done and just wait for Tech 4 to come kill himself. Gosh, that is dastardly if that is indeed what he's going for here. Baneling nest is done for Tech. He's got a decent number of lings. Speed is now finished for him. Looks like he's going to go for a hatchery behind whatever he's planning on doing here. Oh, I was right. He's going to hide the banelings in the line of sight blockers. Oh my gosh. Oh man. It's happening, folks. Oh no. Oh man. He should have stayed. He should have stayed in there. But it might not matter. It might not matter. Oh yeah. Wow. Okay. Well, fair enough. Fair enough, I guess. Really just... That's one of those game-ending mistakes you can make in ZVZ, where you're just like, oh, I wasn't looking at my lings for a fraction of a second, and banelings out of nowhere, and now I'm just dead. So, Tech 4's got a tough road to hoe on this one. One baneling for him is out. If he can get a good connection, then maybe he lives on, but that's not a good connection. That's an okay-ish connection. Nexlux is just flooding lings through the tiny choke in the middle there. Does get the cancel on the hatchery while his is nearly done. He is ahead in every way, shape, and form, and all Tech 4 can do is laugh nervously to himself, I think. Can't blame him. That's a tough thing to have happen. Not easy to come back from something like that, or something like that, or any of these baneling connections, really. Oh, nasty. Just nasty stuff. Well, I mean, he hasn't really lost any workers yet, has he? Whoop, that's the wrong button. Oh, only lost 1, so, I mean, in terms of economy, it's not over, but I feel like in terms of production, he lost the queen. Nexlux took out a lot of the larvae with the baneling. Let's see. Yeah, I think we're about to see game-ending damage. It's starting right here, so... It's all over but the shouting at this point. Yeah, Nexlux just flooding more lings and banes. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. That's what I say. Taking out the queen again. Just gonna make it impossible for Tech to muster up the forces that he needs, and Tech taps out. GG. Well played. And that's it. Nexlux takes it 2-0. Goes on to the winner's match, which will be the match that we cast next. If you recall, Mr. Lando got the walkover versus Tang in match 1, so Lando has started in the winner's match, going up against Nexlux now. This should be a good series. I feel like these two are pretty evenly matched. Probably since Nexlux is in them, they'll be fairly short games, but I guess we'll just have to wait and see. So I'm going to jump to a quick 5-minute break or so while I get everything set up for that series. So don't go away. I'll be right back.
Mr. Lando versus Nexlux.
Alright, folks, we're back. Looks like there's a little map mix-up in this series. Looks like they were under the mistaken apprehension that Ganymede was the starting map in the Group Stage 2, when it is in fact Annihilation Station Re. But I, of course, caught this far too late to actually do anything about it, so we're going to let it slide. Ganymede, a pretty balanced map, so it shouldn't matter too much. But anywho, let's get started with the player introduction. Spawning in the bottom of KTV Ganymede, the Pink Terran, the last Terran hope in the All-Invitational 7. Can he prevail? It is.
Mr. Lando.
And spawning in the top, back to the Blue Zerg again. Took out Tech 4 pretty handily. Will he be able to overcome his nemesis? It is.
Nexlux.
All right. Well, nice to see Ganymede. I grew to have a great affection for this map in Group Stage 1. Technically an illegal map pick, but hey, it's all good in the hood. We're all friends here. So yeah, glad to see this map. Interested to see how things are going to play out here. I haven't seen Nexlux play a TVZ in quite some time, but if he still has the same style he does last time I saw him, probably we're going to see a lot of roaches involved here. And I know from personal experience that Lando has a great deal of experience defending heavy roach-based play, because that's what I always do to Lando when I play him, so I know that he is at least capable of dealing with it. But one could make an argument that Nexlux is a better player than I, so his execution may be a bit cleaner than mine has when I face Lando. So yeah, we'll just have to see here. It looks like Nexlux did go for the pool before hatch. Kind of an interesting option. I don't personally see that in CVT a whole lot these days. Even with the hatch before pool, you can usually still get Lings out to deal with Reapers in time, so not much call for it unless you're going for something a little sneaky, I feel like. Lando smartly rallying his Reaper to the Reaper Cliff. And not a lot of people realize there is a Reaper Cliff on this map to use. And sending his Reaper out there. Is he making another one? He sure is. We'll probably see, what, maybe 3 Reapers before he switches off? Guess we'll just have to wait and see. Next, let's go in for a very fast Roach Warren, which this Reaper should scout unless something truly horrible happens. Next, let's getting a Queen in position here to start poking away at the Reaper. Is the Reaper going to be too smart for that? He could go up the back door. Nope, he's going in the front door. Get some damage on that Reaper from the Queen, but it's going to see the Roach Warren. That's not a good hiding spot, Nexlux. So he's got to know something's up. He's got to know. He's going to get out there. He's seen what he needed to see. Reaper's job is done. Second Reaper, not going to be too helpful now. Stops making Reapers and switches onto a reactor to get some actual units out for defense. Looks like he's going to try to stick around with this Reaper. And the second one joining up with it as well. Oh, wow. Very fast layer off of that hatchery that just finished. That's very cool. Reaper's going to come back in to confirm the scout of what he's already seen, and there's no Lings here to deal with these Reapers. So Nexlux going to take some economy damage here, killing one drone. Nexlux saves the other with the extractor trick. Oh boy, this is just gross. This is why skipping Lings is not a great option in ZVT. You kind of need them. Queen getting some shots on the Reapers, but an alive Reaper is a soon-to-be not injured at all Reaper. They'll run into the Queen at the natural, but he should really just run by, I feel like. Well, chooses to take the safer option. He doesn't know what's in there. Did he see the lair morphing, though, is the question. He did not. He did not see the lair morphing. Oh, wow. What a tactic by Nexlux, using the Queen to call Lando's bluff and make sure the Reapers don't get past a crucial kind of line of sight point to actually see that lair. Grabbing a whole mess of gas right now is, oh boy, we're going for 2 base muta. Alright, so what's the Roach Warren? Just a clever ruse? Is he a ruseman? He didn't make a single roach as far as I could see. Well, let's see what Lando's got at home to tell him to deal with this. No NG Bay, A reactor factory for Hellions, which isn't going to help. He does have 2 mines out front, which he probably made in response to the Roach Horn, which could help him against the Mutas, but if they're not in the right place, then what good are they? And going for a Cloak Banshee. Oh, man, he's really bought this this Roach Horn play. And Nexlex just said, haha, it cost me 150 minerals and a drone to send you down this path that's going to be basically useless. Especially if he starts making Marauders out of that barracks with the tech lab, which it seems like he pretty much has to. So he's really preparing hard for a heavy roach attack, but it's not going to be roaches, Lando. It's not going to be roaches, man. Spire's nearly done. Nexlex banking up minerals and gas at the moment. A little light on mineral drones, but if you're just planning on going for mutas, this might be an actual pretty good amount. Not going to have an excess of minerals, but man, just defending this with 2 queens, 3 queens now, and 2 slow lings, pretty ambitious. Nexlex just going to lean into it, take the damage, but get him killed. Boy, he did lose 9, well, minus the one from earlier, 8 workers, and then another Reaper gets in, scouts the Spire. Lando's got to go into panic mode now. He's throwing down eBays like nobody's business. Keeping the Reaper alive in the main to be annoying. Maybe you can get another drone kill or 2 with that. Just a real hodgepodge of an army for Nexlex moving across the map, but he does have some mutas out now. This Banshee is not going to cloak? Did he cancel cloak? Not sure about that, but in any case, Banshee does go down. Slow lings, slow roaches, congregating outside Lando's main. There's a bunker, but it's not got a lot in it, and there's nothing there to repair it, so it's gonna go down. Yep, it sure does. Mutas are here. What happened to those Widow Mines? Ah, they went back into the main thinking that the mutas would go for the main mineral line. They did not. They went for the front door. Sneaky mutas. One Widow Mine gets targeted down immediately. Where's the other guy at? Still by the main mineral line. Turrets are getting finished, but the mutas with the ground support are able to target him down before Nexlux loses too much. Just camping the production at this point is Nexlux. I mean, he's not doing a lot of economy damage, but he is preventing Lando from amassing anything resembling a real army. Another Widow Mine gets taken out before it can get buried. Stim just finished from that tech lab, I believe. So he does have Stim now, but he's got nothing to Stim. He's got 2 Marines, which are very badly injured because there are Vikings instead of medevacs coming out. Don't know how I feel about that. Oh, Muta's wandering into some missile turret fire. Better pull back to a safe distance. Chasing down a Widow Mine are the Mutas. Not every day you see that happen. Oh, Widow Mine. Oh, gets the worst possible shot on the Muta Cloud. Very lucky for Nexlux. It's great that he has these couple of roaches to pick away at the missile turrets so that eventually the Mutas can move in, forcing a lot of lost mining time. They don't even get the repair on that missile turret. That must have been a misclick. This is a bit of a weird situation. He's not getting much done with this except for killing army units, which is good, but eventually he's going to be driven out. Widow Mine gets another shot on the Mutas, a little bit better. Very injured Mutas, and now there's a medevac for those Marines, so now we need to actually be somewhat afraid of them. Looks like some reinforcements trickling in for Nexlux at about the rate that Lando is producing, so could potentially keep this up all day, I suppose. Eventually they're gonna mine out, so somebody needs to make some headway one way or the other. Oh, that Widow Mine's recharged, and he pulls back. More Mutas meeting up now. They can probably target down that missile turret. Looks like he's gonna try it. He's too busy repairing the bunker to repair the missile turret. Oh man, Mule's repairing and getting killed by Mutas. I don't think Nexlux is going to break down this bunker anytime soon with all this repair, but he is getting a lot of incidental damage done on the SCVs that are trying to repair it. So, yeah, he's getting a lot done with small amounts of units, Nexlux is. Losing another Muta to that Widow Mine, which is getting some work done for Lando. But once it's fired its volley, there's, another minute that it's useless. Still slow lings from Nexlux trying to break through this wall slowly but surely. I don't think he's gonna get through. Alright, and he's out. He's been repelled. Lando holds firm with his 3 CCs. My god. That was pretty intense. Okay, well, where are we at? Looks like Nexlix is very light on the mineral drones here. He does have a lot of minerals banked, probably thanks to building nothing but mutas during that whole little thing. But going for his third, I guess either that was a misrally or a scouting muta. you never can tell with him. His army is very, very wimpy looking right now. Very not potent. I feel like this group of Marines could probably handle what Nexlix has on the map right now. But it looks like he's trying to transition into a more macro focus here. He's getting double Evo, getting his third. Baneling Nest is now done. Still very light mineral saturation in the main, but as long as he has that bank, I suppose it doesn't matter too much. Lando thinking about moving out to try to secure his third at this time, it looks like. It looks like he's going for the backdoor third, which is an interesting choice. I guess it makes sense. If you have Widow Mines kind of here, they can protect both this mineral line and Muta entry from this angle. But as I say that, Mutas are indeed entering from this angle and getting damage done, so Widow Mines need to exist for that to be a possibility. And right now it looks like Lando's trying to kind of sandwich the tiny cloud of mutas. Oh, a dropped depot that's going to get targeted down because it's not in range of anything. That's just too bad. But that's what you get for dropping supply. Third finish for Nexlix, taking the double gas, throwing some drones on there. Still very low saturation in his main, but at this point it seems like that may be on purpose. Lando has good saturation on his... Well, nope, he's kind of in a similar boat. Lousy saturation in the main, decent at the natural, and his third is just now completing. So, in terms of supply, they're pretty much even. Lando's ahead at the moment. He's got 3 less workers, so... But he does have mules. You can never underestimate the power of mules. Nexlix going for a very fast fourth. I feel like this may be a little premature. He doesn't have much in the way of an army to repel this attack that's coming out from Mr. Lando right now. No banelings to deal with these Marines, although he could easily morph some if he notices the attack coming in time, but it's already at his front door, so it's a little late now. Small handful of roaches in his army. That's going to be good for tanking damage, but... Oh, wow. Very ballsy to engage like this. Lando just kind of moving back. Loading up and getting out of there after losing a decent chunk of that army. So I'm surprised that went as well for Nexlix as it did. And Nexlix is pushing the point. Taking out a medevac there. Everything does get to unload, but a medevac killed is a medevac that's not healing your opponent's army. so good value there. And now there's nothing for these medevacs to really heal. The reinforcements rallied from Lando are trying to meet up with these medevacs, but they're trapped between a Zorg army and a tight spot here. Nexlix saying, screw your third, screw those medevacs. They pose no threat. I'm just going to pick off your Marines, intercept them on the way to the medevacs. Yeah, Lando's got to get the medevacs closer to his production, I think. But that means they're going to be exposed for the mutas to pick off. Very cool positioning plays going on here. Yeah, Nexlix just, again, getting a lot done with small groups of units. It's hard not to admire his ability to do that. But yeah, you know, to Lando's credit, he's not crumbling. He's holding strong there. He needs to get over to that bunker, which maybe should be on the other side of the CC now that I think about it. But he does get in the bunker. He's got a ton of SCVs to repair it, but roaches, pretty good burst damage. Let's see, are they going to get through? I think they are. Yep. Bunker's gone. Reinforcements from Lando coming in from the top side, though, but just these quantities of units are too small. 2 Widow Mines about to burrow. Going to get some shots on these roaches. Only take a roach and a muta out, though, so this harass at Lando's third can continue as soon as these roaches reinforcements arrive, and they do. Yeah, I would just pick off the third, pick off the SCVs, make him lift off. But Nexlix killer instinct is kicking in. He thinks he can just march right into the natural. He's probably right. There's not much in the way of bio here for Lando. SCV's being pulled to try to deal with the roaches, but Nexlix just moving right up into the main. Muta's getting sidetracked by that bunker, losing a few too many mutas there, more than what he needed to, but Just getting as much as he can done with these small packs of roaches while more reinforcements rally, ready to strike the third. Lando's mined out of his main now. Nextlook still has a little bit left. Result of that low saturation there that he's had all game. Yeah, boy, Nextlook's doing a great job just picking off Lando's workers, pulling him every which way. Widow Mine's hard to maneuver around. They're not the most mobile unit. Setup time is a real pain in the butt when you've got to constantly move him back and forth. Lando does have to lift his third. He does have a secret fourth landed over here that I don't think Nextlook knows about, so he can, kind of make a feint and be like, oh no, I've had to pull back, but really he's in an alright spot if he just lands the mule hammer there. Yeah, I mean, Nextlook's definitely in the lead. He's got his fourth set up, ready to receive some dronage. Very low saturation, though, on all of his other bases, basically. So very interesting low econ plays from Nextlook's. Just a really... It's refreshing to see an alternative take on how StarCraft is played. And it's working out for him, I think, for the most part. I feel like the army for Lando is starting to get to the point where Nextlook's can't just ram his roaches against walls and expect to get damage done. Lando does have 2-2 compared to Nextlook's 1-1. 2-2, only about a third of the way done for Nextlook. So this is where roach-based plays start to fall apart, is when the upgrades start to get out of control for the Terran players. So I don't think he's been able to do this forever. But, I mean, if his stated goal was, keep Lando tied up on his side of the map while he established 4 bases, then there's no way to argue that wasn't a success. Hydralisk Den is done for Nextlook, so I guess he's going to stick with this roach composition and throw in some hydras. Everyone who knows me knows I love a good roach hydra, but after 23 minutes in the game, I feel like its efficacy kind of falls off quite a bit. But then again, because of all the early game shenanigans, this game state is in a much different position than it normally would be by this time. So he doesn't really have to worry about, oh, I need to have my Vipers out for these tanks, because there are no tanks. Just Stim Bio and Mines, which, fares okay against Roach Hydra. It really comes down to the upgrades, I feel like, and +3 weapons is done for Lando now, +3 armor on the way. But yeah, so Lando is going to get to 3-3 well before Nextlook's does, and a 3-3 bio army versus your Roach Hydra can be a real nuisance. Nextlook's going for a 5th and a 6th base. Why do that when you're so low saturated on all your other bases? I guess any production is good production. But Nextlook is going for it. He's got a 150 army versus Lando's 100-ish. He can take an okay fight here at the third of Lando, it looks like. Not a lot of medevacs, only 4. He did such a good job picking them off earlier that the medevac count is not out of control to the point where you need super high DPS to break through it all. Baneling's blowing up on supply depots, not finishing off the command center, leaving it burning at 50 HP. What a statement Nextlook is making here. Oh, there it goes. Finishes off now. Doesn't have an overseer with his army to spot these mines, though. If mines get shots on Hydras, that can go real bad for the Zerg player real quick. Not noticing the mule fleeing in the wrong direction. Has to know that this base exists, but doesn't look like he actually does. Gonna try to bust through the natural of Lando is Nextlook's, but he's lost his Roach meat shield, and the Hydras are just getting shredded at this point. So this is a bit of an overextension. No maybes about it. Yeah, these Hydras, they even have upgrades? I don't think that they do. Maybe they do. It's hard to tell a slow Hydra from a fast Hydra sometimes off creep. But yeah, Nextlook's reloading on roaches, it seems. Small group of Hydras in the production tab for him. Lando's pushing across the map, feeling like maybe he can get something done now that he's dealt with the Zerg army. But the thing about Zerg armies is they can rebuild real quick. And yep, Lando's running for his life. He's got a lot of medevacs, but not a lot of bio underneath those medevacs. And without bio for them to heal, medevacs are just kind of flying paperweights. Pulls the roaches into a Widow Mine, but a single Widow Mine, not a big deal versus roaches. They can kind of tank the hits much more easily. Yeah, It looks like he's going to hold this off, maybe, if these medevacs get over and start healing. They're all pretty low on energy, though, it seems like. This sustained attack from Nexlux is just keeping Lando's medevacs drained of energy. They're totally useless now. Can pick stuff up, I suppose, but now there's just no healing potential. Nexlux smartly keeping a pack of lings by the rally path to spot to see, what's coming his way while he focuses on the 3rd CC again. Looks like he's going to just rebuild it. And that was the one from Lando's main, wasn't it? It sure was. Lando's not going to lose it, though. Looks like he did lift it off and repair in time. And Nexlux losing his whole army again. So Lando really having a tough time here. I mean, he's weathering the storm. He's not, curling up like a ball of paper and floating away. He's sticking in it. I feel like this 4th base, this secret 4th that Nexlux still I don't think knows about. Nope, no idea. That's really what's keeping Lando alive in this game, so good thinking Lando to go for that. It's kind of out of the way if Nexlux came in to attack the 3rd, he would, need to break down this debris to go right there. Although he really should have this Overlord probably have a peek at that base, but he doesn't know. And Nexlux going for a Hydra Baneling composition. Super high DPS, but very fragile. A couple of mine shots on that army and it's just going to disappear. But not a lot of mines from Lando for him to worry about. There's one. Is he going to target it? He really should. Well, it's still recharging, so he's safe for a little bit, but I wish he wouldn't keep his army on top of it. That's pretty scary. Kind of splitting up where his army is attacking, focusing on the CC with most of it, while some remnants on the back kind of tie Lando's defenses up, but he's done it. He's killed that CC. Lando's down to 2 CCs at this point.
Mr. Lando versus Nexlux.
All right, I lied. We're actually gonna do game 2 of Nexlux versus Mr. Lando. Sorry about that. Anyway, spawning in the bottom left corner of Noah's Ark, this player's map choice. It is the Pink Terran down 0-1. Can he bring it back against his Zerg opponent? The last Terran hope remaining. It is.
Mr. Lando.
And spawning at the top right, the man who is 1 win away from advancing first in the group and all that stuff that I mentioned earlier. It is.
Nexlux.
Weird map, says Mr. Lando, having picked this map. I wonder if he just kind of blind picked it without actually looking at it. That's the only logical explanation I can think of for why he would select this map. Mr. Lando, normally a pretty strategic player. At least that's how I think of him. So to just randomly pick a map doesn't seem in his character. But again, the map pool is very unorthodox. I can't blame him for not totally having the time to study it all super carefully. But if it was a random pick, I feel like that's going to be his downfall here, because Nexlux has got an early pool and gas ready for him. And if Mr. Lando is going to go for a CC, an early CC kind of a thing here on the low ground, nope, looks like he was maybe thinking about it, but it's going to finish that wall like a smart lad. So yeah, it definitely seems like Nexlux has got some early shenanigans up his sleeve here. Whether that's going to be roaches, which I think it is, and it's a roach warren, so it is. Yeah, Lando did an okay job fending off roaches in game 1, although the roach mind game ended up being such that Nexlux didn't really produce that many roaches until fairly late in the game. But Lando showed that he had the right ideas about how to defend roach stuff. Getting some mines, getting cloak banshees, that kind of stuff. Now, it did turn out to be the case that Nexlux was actually going for 2 base muta, which counters most of those things. So, but yeah, Lando showed that once he identified roaches were a strong likelihood that he could make the adjustments to his play to deal with that. But now he's got this nagging doubt in his head. Is that a real roach warren, or is that just another trick? So he needs to find out some way to confirm that that's the case. Well, a baneling nest, so if he sees that, that would be a pretty good confirmation. But roaches are out. Go away. No time for you to see. In fact, you don't need to see. You know it's real now, because there's a bunch of roaches on the map coming for you. And all he has are a marine and a bunker. He is getting a second marine, so that's pretty good. But these Reapers not going to be too helpful. They should probably be going into the mineral line and trying to keep him back. But I guess he feels like the cool icy hand of death is coming for him. Oh, Reaper's trying to blend in with the roaches. Roaches not falling for that crap. Nice try, Lando. Oh boy, this is going to be a tough defense. SCV's already pulled, ready to repair this bunker. Can the roaches burst through it fast enough? We will wait and see. Oh, they're actually going for the supply depot that the SCVs cannot repair. I don't know if there's a hole for the roaches to actually get through, but they can break down this incomplete building, because you can't repair incomplete buildings, and say screw your bunker. I don't need to fight on that. It does kind of make it so reinforcements won't be able to get through easily, but Lando has vacated that bunker. So he's not getting the benefit of it anymore, really. Roach is getting surrounded by SCVs, but they're doing a good amount of damage, so really, if your roaches are getting surrounded by SCVs, how mad could you really be? Oh, gotta be careful of the Widow Mine now. If he wants to keep these roaches alive to be annoying, he's got to be careful to pivot around that mine. 2 banelings out of nowhere wander up the ramp of Lando and get basically nothing done. Interesting maneuver there from Nexlux. He's got a swell of slow lings on the way. Hasn't even started speed. Who needs it? Nexlux just bait out the mine shot so he can get his roaches through. Tries to snipe the second mine, but not quite getting it. But now it's 2 marines and some SCVs versus these 2 roaches. Nexlux microing very well, not letting himself get surrounded here. Just trying to target fire SCVs. Oh, Marine's trying to bait the roaches back into the minefield, but I think Nexlux is aware that that's what's going on, being very careful to pivot around it. Just really messing with Lando's mining here. Oh, Widowmine tries to move up, but gets sniped before the burrow animation is finished. So, these roaches really being a thorn in his side. He just can't make enough to burst through them. Looks like this roach is weak. Oh, trying to use the cover of the Marines to move the mine forward, and it's really backed this roach into a corner. I think Nexlux knows there's nothing for it now but to just let it go. But a slow-ling Bane bust at the front while the Marines are away. Bursts through the bunker with oh, very nice mine shot by Lando, taking out all the Lings and Banes, but a single roach is back in the base, and we've seen what a single roach can do in the hands of Nexlux, especially when there's only a single Marine to defend against it. Taking up a nice position in between the mineral patches where he can't really get surrounded. It's just working on killing SCVs all on his own. The hero roach. 25 SCVs have been killed by Nexlux in this game, and more roaches coming up into the main of Lando. He's barely mining at this point. No wall to speak of to keep reinforcements out. Just a mine and 2 Marines on a mission. Mine does get burrowed, but it's going to blow up on the SCVs. Oh, dear. Oh, dearie me. Yeah, I mean, seems like Nexlux probably loses these roaches eventually, but the damage has been done. I mean, you know, in terms of worker count, Nexlux not that far ahead, especially when you factor mules into the equation, but, you know, he has no wall to keep stuff out, which is something you kind of need as a Terran player. yeah, I see no reason why Nextlux won't just keep streaming in small groups of units, trying to target down the whatever number of Marines that Lando happens to have at that time. As long as he doesn't let that number get out of control while he's sniping workers. But even if he does, if the workers are all dead, then how many more Marines could he really make after that? You know, 2 mules every minute or however long it takes to generate that much energy isn't going to make up for his otherwise non-existent income. Widow Mine at the front, recharged. Both mines getting shots on roaches, but roaches are pretty hardy creatures. Not losing any, just very weakened. Lando down to his last SCV, his last mine, his last everything, and he GG's. Well played, Nextlux there. Boy, Lando got roughed up there. That's not what I was expecting. Yeah, Nextlux with, I mean, that game one, you know, mind trick of the here's a roach warren, no actually I'm going to base muta was inspired. You can't blame Lando for falling for that, but just did not have what it took to defend the 7 roach rush from Nextlux and paid the price for it. So, you know, it happens. Seems like that's something you might be prepared for if you come up against Nextlux. At least that's what I would suggest. You're gonna see stuff like that. But yeah, Lando not able to defend it off. So now, as I said earlier, Nextlux goes on to face Exile in the round of 8, advancing first in the group. Lando awaits the winner of the losers match, which we'll see next, Tech 4 versus Tang, and then that'll be that. So next series will be Tech 4 versus Tang, a ZVZ again, and now for reals, we'll take a 5-minute break, and we'll be right back.
Tech 4 versus Tang.
Alright, here we are back on Annihilation Station Re for Game 1 of the losers match. Spawning in the bottom right, or no, I'm sorry, bottom left corner of Annihilation Station Re. The purple Zerg, he is...
Tech 4.
And spawning up at the top right corner of Annihilation Station Re, the teal Zerg, our glorious leader. You know him, you love him. The man who needs no introduction, but here I am giving him one anyway. It is...
Tang.
And we're off. All right. Well, I'd be lying if I didn't say that I didn't let me try that again. I'd be lying if I didn't think, alright, fuck it. Never mind. Sorry, guys. It's been a long, long day. What I'm trying to say is Tang is definitely the favored person in this matchup, and Tech 4 has a long road ahead of him to hoe if he is going to win this game, win this series, and not be eliminated from the All-Invitational 7. You know, it is ZVZ, and let us never forget the infamous Arrow Air game from TI6, wherein a Gold League player did in fact take a game off of Tang. Probably one of the most seminal moments in All-In history. So I'm not going to say it's impossible, but I am going to say it's very, very unlikely. If I'm proven wrong and Tang is eliminated here, then what a story that would be. Just don't see it happening. But let's see. Let's see how these builds are shaping up here. Looks like they're basically mirrored right now. Yep. Tang starting Ling speed. Looks like he had a much faster gas than Tech 4 did, because he is just now starting to get gas. So he does have a faster hatch than Tang does, so that accounts for that. He's got his queen out, as does Tech 4. So he's going to have a period with Ling speed where Tech does not, but it's going to be still hasn't started yet, so it's going to be a decent-sized window. It's going to be, 50-ish StarCraft seconds. That's plenty of time to do something with, but the question is, will he get anything done? Both players have their hatcheries done now. Tech 4 just now getting a drone on it. Oh, even less dronage than Tang has, so he didn't really get much value out of that quicker hatchery. Yeah, Tang matering a few drones down prematurely to, I don't know, maybe to make it look like he droned harder than he did, or just to have a couple of drones down here in case he needs to make some spines real quick, or just to use for general defense, I suppose. Either way, I like it. It's a fine point, but I feel like it can really make the difference in a couple occasions. But Tang is just stepping on the gas with these Lings. His speed is dunzo, so these Lings are racing across the map. And what does Tech 4 have? Not a sausage. 14 Lings in the bank right now, a Baneling Nest that's about to finish, but he needs them now. He needs them now before he loses all these drones of the natural. But it's too late for that. They're gone, and Tech 4, GG's. Wow. That was... I'm getting whiplash from that game. Things just spiraled out of control fast. That's tough. In ZVZ, there's a lot of weirdness. I don't know that you can even blame that on ZVZ weirdness, though. I feel like Tech just didn't have a good read on what Tang was doing and droned a little too hard and paid the price for it. So just simple as that. Clean win for Tang. So we go on to game 2 almost immediately. And Tech 4 did pick, once again, Noah's Ark as his second map. That map is seeing a surprising amount of play in this tournament. I really put that in there thinking, no one's going to pick that except maybe a jerk Protoss that wants to have some fun with it or something. But, yeah, we've seen it quite a lot, really. You know, more than we've seen Flagship Damocles. Maybe even more than we've seen Roses Never Cry, if I'm being honest. So, weird. But yep, so that's Tech 4's map pick, so we'll jump right into that. See you guys in game.
Tech 4 versus Tang.
Alright, and here we are on Noah's Ark, spawning at the bottom left corner of Noah's Ark. The purple Zerg, he is on his last life. He must win now or face elimination in this tournament. Can he do it? It is.
Tech 4.
And spawning in the top right corner of Noah's Ark, the teal Zerg. Hail this man. His name is
Tang.
Alrighty, well, game 1 didn't go well for Tech 4. Let's see how he fares here. Looks like he doesn't want to be on the short end of the gas game, so he's going for a very fast extractor. Tang going without for the time being. Interesting. I feel like speed matters more. Does speed matter more or less depending on the map size? Is speed more important on a small map or less important? I don't know. That's probably something for smarter people than I to ponder. So I'm just going to not say anything because I want to risk looking stupid on the internet. But Tang going for a fairly early hatch after his pool. Tech 4 going for the gas into pool. No hatch for him yet. So it seems like Tech 4 plans on doing some aggressive stuff this game, whereas Tang is taking a come-at-me-bro posture. He didn't go hatch first. His pool is done, so he will be in a pretty good spot to defend anything. Yeah, wow. Going for a very fast spine crawler. I guess he sees the no hatch for Tech 4 and assumes something's got to be up. And here comes a bunch of lings. He's not wrong about that. I feel like 2 spine crawlers is maybe overkill for dealing with this small group of lings, but Tech 4 is getting a baneling nest to go along with those lings, so maybe Tang's not crazy. Maybe Tang knows exactly what's going on here. Yeah, I don't see Tech breaking through. Even if he made them all into banelings, he would blow up on the spines and have nothing else left. Tang preemptively moving a spine down. Is he going to move them both down or just the one? Maybe leave the one at the top of the ramp in the main, deal with any run-bys. I kind of like that. I think that's a good look. Yeah. Oh, no. Oh, yep, just repositioning it slightly. So Tang is pretty ironclad here against early stuff. Could use another queen, which he is making to potentially plug the ramp, but not sure it's going to be necessary. Tech 4 has speed finished, going for some banelings right now. Tang pre-spreading his lings so that they don't get caught in a group by a baneling when he's not looking. Very clever maneuver. A queen betraying a ling, or perhaps just performing the beatings it will need to boost its morale. Tech 4 moving in here. Bane's blowing up on not much. And yeah, I feel like he didn't really get a whole lot done here. There just wasn't a lot of stuff for these banelings to blow up on. No drones, very low amount of lings. So if your banelings don't have any good targets, what are you gonna do? He is hiding a baneling in the line of sight blockers, which is fantastic. That's what we thought Nexlux might do in his series against Tech 4. So maybe Tech 4 watched the replay and saw how he was kind of holding some here and thought, hey, I'll do that. It's a very clever move. If Tang just tries to rush through with a bunch of speedlings, that could be real bad for him. But I feel like he's too smart of a player to do something like that. But this is an unfamiliar map to him, so he may not be aware of what he's up against here. Tech 4 finally going for a natural. Still quite a ways off from being done, but maybe that's alright, because Tang isn't really getting a lot of good use out of his natural right now. It's still kind of taking a defensive posture. Very minimal dronage on that base for him at the moment. Many spines has Tang right now. Looks like he's real afraid of something or other. Maybe thinking a round 2 is coming. He doesn't have any overlords on Tech's side of the map, really. None spotting the central path. He's got this guy all the way out here, but maybe he doesn't realize you can walk through the middle. Surely he must, but his overlord placement seems to indicate otherwise. Well, Tech 4 looks like he's going to do some roach plays, grabbing the +1 missile attack in his lair, probably for roach speed here. While he's working on droning up the naturals slowly but steadily. Tang ahead by 6 workers at this point and throwing down his own roach warren, so if he just says, alright, I've got the better economy, I'll make roaches too, and I'll have more than you pretty shortly, then that's a strategy that could work out for him. We'll have to see if Tech 4 plans on making any more drones, or he's just going to stick where he's at and go for an attack. Probably making more drones at this point would be suboptimal, so I wouldn't blame him if he just held R down and hoped for the best. You know, he's got enough gas income to make another inject's worth of roaches. But no, looks like he's going to go for roach speed instead. Well, he still has a decent gas bank, so if he wanted to wait for another round of roaches, that's definitely an option if he stops spending all of his minerals. But nothing yet, and 12 roaches, there we go, a couple of roaches for Tech 4, additional ones coming out, but 12 for Tang on the way now, which will put him well above what Tech 4 is working with. Man, and this creep spread from Tang is just terrific. It's really easy to forget creep spread in ZVZ when, you know, so many things are demanding your constant attention, but Tang's staying on top of it. He's got good visibility on all of the paths into his base, except really the main one that Tech 4 is likely to take. Overlord is moving that way now, though, and does spot the Baneling and wait. Not going to be too useful against a primarily roach-based army, but every little bit helps, you know? If you can clear out the few numbers of lings that are there, or just soften up the roaches a little bit, that would be helpful. Not sure it's going to make the difference that Tech 4 needs, though. He's at 10 roach to Tang's basically double that amount of roaches. He's got a crazy amount of roaches compared to Tech 4, and they're coming. They're on their way. I see. No, just now starting the lair is Tang, but he's, what he lacks in upgrades and tech, he is making up for in sheer quantity of roach. And at this stage in the game, that's probably fine. Here he comes now into Tech 4's natural. Let's have a roach fight, he says. I've got more roaches than you, but Tech 4's reinforcements are popping. They do have +1 attack. So Tech 4 might be able to hold this off. Moving forward are both players trying to get as much damage on each other's armies as they can. I think Tech 4 holds this, but it's going to be close. Oh boy. Speedling's coming in to assist for Tang. Just tying up the roaches in melee while the remainder of Tang's roaches go to work on the hatchery, on the drones. And yeah, Tech 4 is, his reinforcements are popping, but small quantities, while Tang peels off a small amount of roaches to try and put some harass on the mineral line. But I think Tech 4's defender advantage has pulled him through this one. He's going to be able to clean up Tang's roaches, and there aren't there aren't a stream of reinforcements coming across from him, so this aggression is done. Was it worth it? What did he get? He got 9 workers killed, which is a pretty good amount of workers. Tech 4 down to 33 to Tang's 45. So, you know, decent amount. It certainly kept Tech 4 on his side of the map. Looks like Tang, less roach count now, but he's anchored by these 3 spines, which are just going to be so helpful if Tech 4 picks a fight in that direction, which hopefully he won't. Hopefully he'll go for Tang's 3rd, which is not yet complete, and completely spine-free. But Tech 4, he's going through the Death Star trench. Don't go up that ramp. That's be a great way to get caught in a really bad engagement. So I don't know if he feels like he can't get anything done at this point, or is just too scared to try. Not sure. Tang moving his spines over to that 3rd base now that it's complete. So now the natural is more open, but in the interim period, Tang has replenished his roach count, and I suspect is basically on par with what Tech 4's got. And Tech 4 just now throwing down his 3rd. So really behind in almost every conceivable way except for upgrades, where he does have +2 over Tang 0-0. So that's one edge that he has here. But in order for that edge to be capitalized upon, that means he's going to have to fight. Your upgrades do nothing if you're not fighting, right? So the longer he waits, the closer Tang's +1 armor gets to finishing, the smaller the window of opportunity for him gets. And the less effective that early money going into upgrades is going to ultimately be for him. Oh wait, no, I'm sorry. That is actually Tech 4 getting +1 armor. Tang's still not getting a single upgrade. No, does have... Okay, now he is. Oh, have I been looking at the wrong... It's Tang with +2, isn't it? Or no, he's on 1-1. Okay, sorry, I just got super confused. Okay, nope. Tech 4 is the one with +2 weapons, researching +1 armor. Tang has 1-1 finished now and has just started 2-2. So yeah, Tech 4, if he wants to get any value off his early upgrades, needs to take this fight, but 3 spines is not what you want to walk into. He would have been better off going right for the natural. Yeah, he's having a tough time getting anything done here. Just kind of posting up outside of his 3rd now. To defend it. Looks like the chance of Ling run by is very low. Tang is just making roaches, so leaving this open isn't going to be a huge liability for him. But if Tang did make an inject or two's worth of speedlings and just kind of threw him into Tech 4's main to make him run around, that would be a good way for him to open up the 3rd and give Tang a chance to strike. But he's just saying, nah, who needs lings? I'll just make roaches. Truly, he is the Roach King. Tech 4's got similar ideas. We'll just keep making roaches and have a big engagement, and somebody will get the worst end of that engagement. As far as upgrades go, Tang's +2 is about to be done. At that point, he will be on even footing with Tech 4. Yeah, wait for that upgrade to finish before you fight, Tang. Looks like he's thinking better of it. And just meeting up with some reinforcements while he waits for that to finish. And it is so close. It's done. All right, equal upgrades, and Tang's really ahead because his +2 armor is pretty close to being done as well. So, oh no, Tech 4 getting separated from his own base and now has to come through this really nasty choke. Oh boy, that sucks. That's not the engagement you want. All these roaches in the back stuck, not firing at all. Tang getting a supreme concave. He's basically surrounding Tech 4 for all intents and purposes. He's got a full 180 arc on this army. My god. And Tech 4, GG's. What else can he do? He's lost his whole army because he walked through this choke. That's tough. Well, that's what Roach Wars come down to sometimes. It's just who positions themselves better and who walks where they shouldn't walk. And unfortunately, that does mean Tech 4 is eliminated from the All-Invitational 7. Congrats to him on making it to Group Stage 2. This was a real hard group, so I am sorry that you got placed in that group. But he put up as good a fight as he could, I think, and should be commended for his efforts. I certainly wouldn't want to play Tang in Group Stage 2. And that means Tang goes to the decider match to face Lando, who lost the winner's match. So even though the walkover happened in match 1 over in the Lando vs. Tang matchup, we're not deprived of seeing those two play. They just play in the decider match rather than the first match. So details. But yeah, very excited to see this series. Tang vs. Lando was the finals of the All-Invitational 6 earlier this year or last year. I can't remember when it was now. I think it was late last year. And while I won't say it was a close series, it was a highly entertaining series. So this could be pretty good. So we'll throw to a quick 5-minute break while I get that set up, and we'll be right back for the last series of the night. Stay tuned.
Let's take. Let's take. There.
Tang versus Mr. Lando.
And welcome back to Game 1 of the final series of the night. Here on Annihilation Stationary, we start at the bottom left corner of the map. The pink Terran, the final Terran Hope. Can he make it out of this group? It is.
Mr. Lando.
And his opponent spawning in the top right corner of Annihilation Stationary. The Teal Terran, the best astronaut drink around. It is.
Tang.
Alright, I am very excited for this series. I feel like it has potential to be very exciting. Perhaps one of the more exciting matchups that we'll see in Group Stage 2. I mean, I don't want to go so far as to say that they're evenly matched. I mean, Tang is a many-time Grandmaster, and Lando is a fairly new master in the grand scheme of StarCraft, but Lando is quite good, and I think he definitely has what it takes to take some games off Tang. We'll just have to see if he has anything special prepared, or if he's just going to try to stick with standard macro play and, you know, hope that he doesn't slip up too much. I mean, I think, again, when you're against a better player, I feel like it's a mistake to try and play a macro game, right? Because the reason they're better than you is that their macro is better, right? They make less macro mistakes, which is how they gain edges on you throughout the entire game. So the longer the game goes on, the more that gap is widening. But I really don't ever see Lando do, you know, sneaky, super cheesy, aggressive early stuff at all. So I can't even remember the last time I saw him do a 2-base all-in, for that matter. So it seems unlikely, I guess, is what I'm getting at. And yeah, Tang going again for the spawning pool before hatchery. Leaves his options open, I guess. You know, sets his economy back a bit if he faces a command center first, but if, you know, Tang is the kind of person who will use the 7 roach rush like we saw Nexlux do earlier, if he feels like, you know, there's a possibility for that to be effective. But the Reaper's already here, and it sees that the hatchery is not done yet, so he knows that that it was a pool first. Going up this Reaper cliff, which also many people don't know about, to get a little scout in the main, see what's going on. Probably happy to see there's no roach horn, although he hasn't really checked over here, so he really should try to get more coverage of the creep to confirm that. But working on microing to pick off these lings right now. Needs to get out of there before he loses it, and he does. Queen gets a shot on, but Reaper will regen shortly. Yep, Tang just droning and making queens, and not too worried about the Reaper aggression here. He's down to just the 1 ling, but he's got enough queens now that he doesn't need to be super worried about Reapers any longer. Although the 2 that are coming in here could potentially be pretty problematic if they catch the queen out of position or manage to focus it down with good micro. Looks like, yeah, now they're going to kind of swing around the back, make sure there's no buildings hidden back here, and nice pick off on that drone. Tang fully saturated on 2 bases already at before the 6-minute mark, so that's quite a good benchmark to hit. Could go for a 3rd now pretty quickly, but he's getting a layer before his 3rd, so maybe we're gonna see something a little weird, or maybe he's just gonna go for the 630 layer or 3rd timing. Not sure. Well, Lando, you know, getting good use out of a small amount of Reapers. He's gotten, you know, a decent amount of kills. Some Hellions going to go meet up with those Reapers now while he works on his 3rd. And morph that into an orbital while he makes some more Hellions and starts Stim. Does not have a starport in the works, so maybe this is just going to be... What could this be? Throwing down another Rex right now. Maybe just like some Marauder something or other. I mean, there's no armory, so Hellbats are not in the picture here. I'm not sure what Lando's doing right now. But he is getting... Oh, I know one thing that he's doing. He's getting some good harass on the front of Tang's base here. Taking out many Queen, and there's just nothing in the way of defense for Tang right now. He stands to lose a lot of drones down here at his natural. Some roaches are in the mail, but they're too late. Tang is losing some serious amounts of drones here. Oh, and this bunched up group over here, potentially in a bad spot. Roaches are out now. No, Lando's diving on it, though. He wants to get that fat drone stack, but doesn't get the right angle on it. So how bad was it? Oh my gosh, Lando killed 17 drones there. That's, well, I guess there were a few killed by the Reapers earlier, but still, quite a few amount of drones killed there for him. But now he has very little at home. Lando tacking on more barracks for production and getting 1-1. Just making some Widow Mines now as well. He's seen the large roach quantity, although you could argue that, you know, Tang was kind of forced into those given the situation. He may not have wanted to go for heavy roaches, but I think he did, which is why I went for the early layer so we get the roach speed. But yeah, no third for him at all. No 1-1 even, just 2 base, a lot of roaches, go. Pretty simple, pretty nice, easy to follow build order for even, you know, lower league players who are just starting out and just want to get a build that will let them macro and attack and pick up some wins. Oh, SCV's too far away to start repairing that bunker, but now they're here to protect this one. But unfortunately, Tang can just walk right on by. Looks like he's trying to target it down, but he's splitting the roaches on 2 different bunkers at the moment, which is not the best move. I don't think he's going to be able to DPS this down. I mean, I think he's happy to just pick off SCVs, but he probably will lose a significant chunk of these roaches, which I mean, he really could have just walked by from the beginning. Yeah, all Lando really has is 2 hurt Marauders and a small group of Marines, but it looks like it'll be enough. Stim is done, so... Oh, there comes some reinforcing roaches from Tang, though. Lando did not succeed at rebuilding the wall. So now he's in kind of a tricky spot. He doesn't have many workers left at the natural to repair bunkers, but looks like Tang is going to play it safe and pull back and await the next round of reinforcing roaches before trying to go for the kill. And Lando does close the door on these roaches this time, but they could probably snipe down that bunker pretty easily, and sure enough they do. It doesn't get to finish. And yeah, Lando just microing for his life right now, trying to keep his small bio pack alive, tie up the roaches with SCVs until he gets the critical mass of bio that he needs to contend with these roaches, but doesn't seem like it's happening. Tang has succeeded in clearing out the natural of all of its workers, so he'll save the base, but there'll be nothing at that base that'll help him, besides the command center, obviously. Can drop mules, as we're seeing, so it's not totally useless, but yeah, how many workers was that? Did that even the score? Control R, right? Yep. Oh wow, Tang killed about double the amount of workers that Lando got off his initial harassment, so that's pretty good, especially considering that he took the loss before Lando did, so his economy was impaired while Lando's was not. Just sticking with these roaches is Tang. No upgrades. He is being like, fine, I'll throw down a 3rd, I guess. But yeah, he's not really developing much in the way of tech. Looks like he just believes in a thing called roach. And hell, why shouldn't you? Targeting down the bunker. A lot of SCVs repairing that sucker, but Tang's starting to work through the SCVs as well. And Lando's had enough. He taps out with the GG. Well played by Tang there. Really just good, good fundamentals there from Tang. Not a complicated, flashy build order, just solid micro, hit his benchmarks, made roaches and attacked with them. There was a bit of micro going on there as Lando was trying to get the bio back and forth and that kind of stuff, but anyone I think could do what Tang just did right there, more or less. Obviously Grandmaster level precision is more tricky than it looks, but yeah, just a solid game there. No trickery and no luck involved. Tang just executed his plan well, and Lando was not able to defend. So that's game one of this series in the bag. So that means Lando is on the verge of elimination here if he does not win this next game. It is his map pick, and he picks Fruitland. So we'll go ahead and load that up, and we'll see you guys in game.
Tang versus Mr. Lando.
Alright, and here we are on potentially the final map of the evening. Let's see, spawning in the bottom left corner of Fruitland TL. It's the Pink Terran, the last Terran standing in the tournament. Will he fall like all of his brothers, or will he live to fight another day? It is.
Mr. Lando.
And spawning in the top right corner of Fruitland TL, it's the man with the plan who's one game away from advancing out of this group alongside of Nexlux. He is.
Tang.
Well, here we are on Fruitland. I'm glad that Lando picked this map. You don't want to get through a whole group without seeing Fruitland at least once. I don't know if he has plans for these here lemons over here, or just is familiar with the map and is more comfortable on it. I'm not sure, but it's a great map, and I love to see it. It's just so aesthetically pleasing and unique and weird, and I love it. It's a great map. I will never run a tournament that doesn't have Fruitland in the map pool. That's my solemn vow. But what's going on here with the builds? Looks like Tang has gone again for the pool before hatch. And Lando's sticking to his Reaper expand. You know, it's not steering him wrong. He's getting good scouting off of that. And he got a surprising amount of damage done with the early Reapers, and then slightly later with the Reapers and Hellions versus Tang. So seems like a winning combination. He just needs to maybe not dive on the drone line and lose all of his stuff too early. We'll see if he has made that adjustment or just wants to dive a little harder. Who knows? No gas for Tang yet. So maybe go in a little more drone focused. I wonder if he'll get an earlier third this time, or just go for another kind of two-base attack. Lando throwing down his CC. Oh, did he not make a second Reaper? Guess not. He went right into his reactor. He's got this one Reaper. You know, nothing at the natural for him to see, but he can get in and see that Tang is just now taking gas, so he's pretty safe from any kind of baneling busts or roach rushes. As long as he gets eyes on it. There we go. Alright, now we've seen it. So that Reaper has done its job, and it can get out and live to fight another day. Tang trying to intercept it with his queen, but Reaper's just kind of grooves on by. Nope, this is a factory coming down for Lando. Wonder if he's gonna lift it off, put it on the reactor to get some Hellions going on once his factory's finished. He'll have to wait for those Marines to be done, but he's getting it into position to do so right now. Tang getting gas now, hasn't started Ling the speed. So that gas must be for something else. Perhaps roaches or a fast lair. What are we thinking here? What are we thinking here, Tang? Help me see the master plan. Still hasn't gone for a third, so It's not quite late. I feel like 6:30 is kind of when you want it to be down by, but so he's still kind of on time for that if he throws it down soon. Reaper comes back to poke away at the front of Tang's base. Roach Warren coming down again, so we're just going to see a repeat of last game, basically. Kind of feels that way. Lando does spot the Roach Warren from Tang, so he'll know roaches are on the table once again. Maybe he can handle it a little bit better this time. I really wish he would do what he did in Game 1 of his series versus Nexalux, where he, went for the Mine, Banshee, Marauder mixture. I feel like that would work out a lot better for him, defending a Roach swell, but he does not have a starport yet. Just now it's starting. Stim on the way, and getting a Marauder. Getting 2 Marauders. He's got 2 Tech Lab barracks right now, so that might be what he's working towards. Tang going for a very early +1 missile attack. No lair. Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, lair coming down. Only about halfway done, but he'll need that to pick up roach speed. Hellion's poking away at the front of Tang's base, but the small amount of roaches he has is enough to shoo him away. Going for an 8-minute third now is Tang. As good a time as any, I suppose, when you're on full saturation. Although he is missing a guy from gas from this geyser, so not quite total saturation. How is Lando doing? He hasn't put down his 3rd CC yet. He's focusing more on army, anticipating this roach attack, I suppose. Normally, I feel like he'd have his 3rd done by now. So really overcompensating, I guess, is Lando. Doesn't want to go out that way, and who could blame him, right? Hydra Den coming down for Tang, so it looks like we might see more Roach Hydra play this group, which is great. Love to see Roach Hydra play. It's super fun and a lot less stressful than Ling Bling Muta, I find. So we'll see if Tang can make it work. Maybe that's why he went for the early +1 weapons, because he knew he would be going into Hydras fairly soon. Yep, Lando just building up a small bioforce here. He's got some medevacs out, more on the way. Did not get any Banshees, which is too bad, because I feel like those help against roaches, but I suppose Tang's roach count is not very substantial right now. It was mostly just to ward off the Hellions and Reaper, and now he's pretty much ceased it entirely. I guess waiting for the Hydraulic Den is done. He's researching Groove Spines and getting another Evo chamber, so maybe we're going to start the next round of upgrades before he starts leaning back into units. His 3rd is done and fully saturated, whereas Lando is still not made, now just starting his 3rd CC. Because he's moving out. He's moving out on the map. He's got a decent-ish bio ball and an okay amount of medevacs, so he might be able to pick off this base and then go home, given how lax Tang's defenses are right now. Trying to pull down a spine crawler from one of his other bases to participate in the defense. Queen's fighting too. Don't think they have enough for many transfuses, but boy, they sure are trying, aren't they? Oh, Hydras pop out right next to the bio army of the Terran. Not the best spot for him. Queen's getting targeted now, while Hydras and Roaches go ham on the other side, and Lando goes ahead and picks up and gets out of there before he loses anything else. I feel like he's pretty vulnerable to a counterattack at this point, because he has no attacking units at home. His whole army was what was in these medevacs, which has been reduced to 3 Marauders and 2 Marines and 4 medevacs, so it's getting soon to the point where every unit will have its own medevac, but unfortunately that may not be as helpful as you might think. Yeah, Tang trying to set up a good engage here, as Hydras keep getting caught on buildings that enter its range and not the units, which is pretty annoying. Boy, that medevac count for Mr. Lando kind of going into overdrive now. Now, truly, there is one for every unit that he has in his army, while 2 of those Marauders can get double healed, perhaps, by the extra medevacs. Oh! And that's it. Lando GG's. Tang has broken through, and Lando sees that the end is in sight for him. So that's it. Tang takes the series 2-0. So Tang advances second place in Group A. And unfortunately, our last Terran survivor, the promised one who would bring us into the land of any TVPs in the round of 8, is vanquished. So that's too bad. So we've got our round of 8 matchups all set then. That was the final group in Group Stage 2. So we know what the round of 8 is going to look like. So let me read that to you right now. In the first match, we've got Nexlux, winner of today's group, versus Exiled, who was the second place finisher of Group B. And on their side of the bracket, the other round of 8 match is VII, winner of Group D, versus Hannibal, who was second place in Group C. And then on the bottom half of the bracket, first match we've got Lucid versus Tang, which should be an incredible match. Two very good Grandmaster players. Really, that should be the finals, if we're being honest. So in some senses, it's kind of a shame that it happens in the round of 8, but that series should be great. I'm super excited to see it. Hopefully, I won't have to cast it. In fact, I will make you a solemn vow right now. I will find real casters for the round of 8 so that they can get the quality of casting they deserve. So yeah, we've got Lucid and Tang on the other half of the bracket, and then the other round of 8 match on that half of the bracket is Manipulation versus Boo. So 5 Zerg, 3 Protoss, 0 Terrans make it to the round of 8. That's too bad. It's too bad for me because I think ZVT is the most exciting matchup to watch. It's my favorite one. And all I have are ZVPs and ZVZs ahead of me. So that's a bit of a bummer. But with the quality of players that are left, all these series should be pretty exciting. So I'm happy to get into it. And I do know that all but one of the round of 8 matches have already concluded. So there's a decent chance that it might be done by this weekend. So I would like to maybe on Saturday cast the round of 8. So that's the plan, assuming it finishes by then. So yeah, stay tuned for dates and deets on all that. And then we're down to the final 4, who are going to play still offline. And then once we've got the grand finals and the consolation match ready to go, I'm going to try to do both of those live. So it's maybe a little ambitious, but in the past, the All-Invitational finals have been live. So we're going to try to do it. No promises, but that's the plan for the immediate future. So next cast could be as soon as this weekend if everything goes according to plan, but when does it ever go according to plan, you know? But yeah, the end of the All-Invitational 7 is in sight. We're nearly there. We're less than 10 best of 3s away from crowning a champion. So pretty exciting. Yeah, I'm pleased with who we have here in the round of 8. You know, surprised that Lando didn't make it through, but yeah, I guess that's maybe the biggest surprise, considering he was a finalist in the All-Invitational 6. But I think the group we have here is pretty good. They're a pretty good representation of who's who and all in. So yeah, your round of 8 is Nexlux, Exiled, Sion, Hannibal, Lucid, Tang, Manipulation, and Boo. Congrats to those players for making it this far, and good luck in your round of 8 matches. I think that is all that I have. So thanks so much for watching. Sorry for the production cock-up earlier in the evening. It's been a while. Sorry for my casting. It's also been a while. And yeah, we'll hopefully have some real casters for you next time. So yeah, I think that's it for me. Thanks so much again for watching, guys. We'll see you next time.
The device has been modified. The device has been